Welcome back to another episode of The Marital Mission. I am your co-host, Lito McDowell.
Oh, we're switching it up in New Year, New Me.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
And I am your co-host, Shamika McDowell, and we are The Marital Mission.
Welcome back.
Yes. It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Regretfully. But as you may or may not know, we took a little hiatus from social media and from the podcast to take care of some family stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one thing to put this podcast together, and we love talking about marriages, but we needed to make sure that our marriage was fully intact as we were going through some loss.
Yep.
And grief.
Yeah. Life happens unexpectedly, and challenges are evident. They are what they are, and they could be used to help strengthen your marriage, or you could take it as a negative and not learn whatever it is that you need to be learning from that particular obstacle. But life goes on, and as long as we have breath in our bodies, you can always make tomorrow a better day.
Right.
And so we plan on being better from our mistakes and some of the things that we've had to face. I mean, life didn't stop when we faced our challenges. We still had to wake up every morning, and we had to go to work. We still had to show each other love. Life still happened.
Yeah.
And so, I looked at it as in totality. I made some mistakes on, dealing with it. So, I mean, people may be wondering what we're talking about.
For those of you who don't know, and not many do, we experienced our first pregnancy, and unfortunately we did lose it. So we were dealing with that. And then unexpectedly, we lost a family member. So around the same time, within probably a couple of weeks of each other. So yeah, we needed to do what we needed to do to ensure that, one, both of us were emotionally, I wouldn't say okay, but that we were in a space where we didn't let our emotions overtake us and just derail our day to day.
Yes. And it did. It threw me off my rocker. I wasn't prepared for the back-to-back. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for either, but losing the baby, I tried to process it best I could, and it came in waves. But I felt like I was in a good spot. And then, like you said, not even 2 weeks later, I get a phone call that one of my first cousins passed. He wasn't 25. He was young. And that really, it just broke me down, because I hadn't grieved in probably over 10 years. And, we've been blessed to not have a lot of death in the family. And that one took us off guard. And it helped, that situation helped me to grieve a lot of things that I had bottled up inside of me over the years. And I can say that I'm better for it now.
Good.
So.
Yeah. So we needed to take a step back and take care of one another through this time. And of course, our family. Make sure that everybody was good before we even considered, moving forward with anything else. So thank you for hanging in there with us and not biting our heads off and still tuning into the show.
And we have a lot of people that like stood in the gap for us.
Oh, yeah. we have awesome friends.
Yes, we have a very
Get
good.
you some praying friends.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So thank you to all of you for tuning in today. We're not going to delay any further. So we are, New Year, and figuring out what we're going to tackle next as far as topics. And something that came up, and everybody's been talking about it all on social media. They've been tuning in, surviving R. Kelly, which we've been having our private conversations about it, right?
Yes.
And we just wanted to speak on it in terms of, and we know this is a marriage podcast, but
he was married.
And it was interesting to see his wife talking and just having that background knowledge, and the marriage to Aaliyah, and started prompting questions of, okay, if we say that we promote Black love, what does that look like within the community when something as serious as, do we go there, pedophilia comes into play? Incest. How does that affect a marriage?
What are ways to guard your marriage and your children from sexual predators?
Right.
And I mean, I'll just say that I'd like to extend the conversation past R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You know,
it's bigger than him.
He's the topic
right. He's
right
the
now
thing.
We've spoken about this issue before on the podcast previously, dealing with sexual molestation, abuse. But let's get back into it, because people not in our living room, we're talking.
Yeah, we had a very lively discussion, mind-blowing, just comments that we've seen on social media. And it's like, no wonder why we're in kind of the space we're in as a community.
Yeah. So protect your peace. I'll say that in this new year, protect your peace. If you're going to have a presence on social media, protect your peace.
Yeah.
And sometimes that looks like bagging away. Sometimes that looks like watching from the sidelines. Sometimes that looks like letting your voice be heard.
Right.
And sometimes it looks like blocking people and unfollowing people.
Listen, because when Amanda Seales said she's starting National Unfriend R. Kelly Supporter Day, and she was the organizer, I was with her on that. But,
it's a lot of people that I've seen take that stance. And
I get the argument that, how can you have a dialogue? But something should just be cut and dry. Like, there's no going back and forth on some things.
Yeah. And that's why I say protect your peace.
Right.
Like me, I haven't been led to unfollow anybody so far. I'm not knocking anybody who does it, because I get it. Like, if you feel like, hey, I'm going to completely look at you different now. And then I guess it depends on the level of relationship that you have established with this person. And then maybe it doesn't. Like, the conversation just has to be had. I don't see any gray area.
Me either.
It's so black and white.
Right.
And listen, my loyalty to these people
who don't know your name,
who don't know my name,
or that you even exist.
Look, so I'm going to say it like this. I found out when everybody else found out about these situations. But if Aaliyah came out in 93, 94, I'm 10, 11 at the time. So I'm not able to necessarily process the fact that R. Kelly's this 27-year-old. Because at that age, anybody that's, I'd say probably above 18 is an adult to me. Right. You grown.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. So R. Kelly's a grown man. Aaliyah, she looks of age like she's not a little girl. So, I mean, I'm not processing at that time like, I knew it was wrong because I heard other people say it was wrong. but it wasn't a big conversation.
Yeah.
So I didn't really consider it a lot.
I did. I thought it was weird. Like, I vividly remember thinking that, oh, she's a teenager, because that's what you aspire to. You're in your preteens or 10ish.
Yeah,
and I was younger than you, so nine.
Yeah,
I probably was at that time. But I had cousins that were her age, and I knew they were the next step that I needed to get to before I was a full-blown adult.
Okay. See, I didn't have it.
Okay.
Like, we were the oldest grandkids.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wasn't. And I mean, not to say that I didn't know it was wrong, but I just didn't think about it a lot. I'm singing back, forth and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Like, that wasn't something that I'm like, hey, this is not right.
But as we discussed, like, we knew on some level that something was wrong, but if the adults aren't really raising hell about it, then what are we going to say?
True.
We don't know. We're following their lead.
True.
But when you know better, you should be doing better, right?
And that's the point. So fast forward to, what was it, 2000? No.
It was around that time, 2000. 2000, 2002.
Yeah, so anyway, between that period of time, because I remember I was in college. It was my freshman year in college when the child pornography
came to
light, and the tape started to circulate. And I remember seeing him like, yeah, this is definitely him. This is definitely disgusting. This is wrong, But I'll be honest, like, I did not initially stop listening to his music.
Yeah.
Like, that day I wasn't like, no. As it continued to play out, as I grew into manhood, now I'm starting to process that this is just, this ain't nothing I want to be a part of.
Right.
I can't even listen to the lyrics of these songs the same. So I'm done with you.
Right. I think for me, I remember that, but then it didn't really register until probably 4 years later when the trial started kicking off. And, we laughed at the Dave Chappelle skit, and we listened to Chocolate Factory and didn't think anything of it. We knew the allegations and everything. Yeah. I never watched the video because that was going to take me to a place where I didn't mentally want to go.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to have that visual. So I made it a point not to watch that tape, and it bothered me that so many people were like circulating it, and it was just weird to me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the trial started and I started reading the details of what was happening, and I was like, oh, the light bulb went off. This is sick.
Yeah.
Like, the what he was singing about.
Yeah.
He's talking about underage girls.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Yeah, it didn't hit me until then.
Yeah, it was maybe 2004, 2005 when I was just like, nah. And have some friends that I'm trying to convince them, like, don't mess with this cat no more. Right. And they like, hey, I'm going to this concert.
Right.
And, I didn't feel like at that time it was just like, okay, well, this is not for me. I'm not listening to his music anymore. And I'll tell you, like, I was a fan of his. I had all of his, well, I ain't buy them. At the time, we burning CDs.
LimeWire.
Right. So I had all of his CDs. Any mix CD I had, any slow jam CD, it was going to have some R. Kelly on it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and now, musical genius.
That's probably taking it too far.
He made good music.
He makes great music. I mean, that's undeniable.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. He's very talented.
So I'm not out here like his music is trash, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and I still have memories connected back to a lot of those songs. I can't enjoy them anymore.
Right. Knowing that. And that's what kills me with this whole argument is like, well, I'm able to separate the man from the talent. And I'm like, how, when most artists put themselves in their art.
How, Sway?
How? And then knowing that he has an affinity for having sex with underage girls, and then he goes and makes a song about having sex. Who do you think he's talking to? He's not talking to your 30-year-old behind.
And, you know, let's stretch that song, because even though he is sick in the way that he's attracted to and acts on that attraction for underage girls, he's still a sexual predator because he abuses women that are borderline,
right,
legally of age, but he's still abusing them, physically abusing them, sexually abusing them, mentally abusing them. So it's beyond just, oh, there were, you know, it was that one 14-year-old girl, it was Aaliyah. Like, come on, y'all really think that? The dude was hanging out at high schools.
Right. Everybody remembers, we all know that one cat that had long since graduated high school, who long since graduated college, that had no business being on campus.
No doubt.
And we thought it was funny at the time. But when you're older, your brain is more developed to where you can make rational decisions and logical decisions. And then once you get to that point, you should be able to say, this is not right.
Yeah.
When you're in it, it's different. When you're the young one, you're not seeing clearly. You're not thinking clearly.
Definitely not.
And that's understandable. So people putting the onus on these young girls bothers me so much, because one, biologically, it is proven that your brain isn't developed enough to make sound decisions.
Yeah. And
two,
definitely not when you're dealing with an adult that is manipulating you, that has this experience in manipulating, you know, younger people,
who has more experience, life experience than you.
Definitely.
You're just coming out the gate thinking that you're grown.
Definitely.
When this whole grown person over here that has 10 years plus on you is clearly conditioning and grooming you to take advantage of you. So I have a very zero tolerance for this whole, well, young girls are fast. They're looking for money. They're looking for a come up. I don't care if they paid him to have sex.
Come on.
He's the grown person in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's on him not to take advantage of them.
So, and transition that into the family dynamic.
Right.
Because like you said, we've all known
that uncle,
aunt,
right,
cousin,
pastor,
whoever, friend of the family, whoever it was. And we've known someone, you may have known someone who was younger and dating an older person. How do you protect your child, your nieces, nephews, cousins, other children in the neighborhood, your friends' children?
Right.
How do you protect them from predators? And so when I'm thinking of it, so I'll just be transparent right now. I have a lot of interest in galvanizing couples together for the betterment of marriage.
Right.
But then I have to consider that just because we don't have kids yet, there are some people out here that have children, a child or multiple, children. Well, it becomes a problem because I'm thinking, okay, if we host this event for married couples, we have to consider, are we going to provide some type of childcare on site? Are we going to include children in the event? Because I'm like, I just don't see where are people going to take their children? I'm thinking this.
Right. And you're not even the parent, right?
I'm not the parent. I'm considering other people's children because I know there are predators out there. I wouldn't expect for someone just to drop their child off. I don't care if it's a 13-year-old boy. I don't expect for you to just drop your child off anywhere at night so that you can attend an event. So,
well, and then we hope people are being responsible and finding adequate childcare. For when they want to have certain. I mean, if you can't go, you just can't go.
You just can't go. So, what do you do in situations where you have to have your child with someone else, whether it's a child care facility, whether it's a babysitter, whether it's a family member, because there really are no safe, fireproof places for children.
Yeah.
They get abused in daycare. They get abused in summer camps. They get abused in church camps. They get abused at their grandparents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them get abused in their own houses.
Oh, yeah. I think we as adults have to be vigilant in creating a safe space for these babies to be able to come talk to us.
Yep.
And what worries me about the whole R. Kelly conversation is, and we talked about this, is that we say all the time, people are watching you in your marriage. Even if people are watching you, if you're single, your kids are watching you and how you operate. So if they're hearing you go to bat for this artist whom you don't even know, how in the world are they going to be able to come to you with, because studies show that kids or people who are abused usually are abused or raped by somebody close to them that they know. So how, if you are going to bat for and vouching for this person whom you don't even know, they don't know you. Yeah. How is that baby supposed to come to you and say, hey, such and such, whom you have a relationship with, who you know, probably no longer than the child has been alive, has been hurting me? Yeah. And how does that baby do that?
And let's say that you're not even vouching for him. Let's just say you're in the category of people that are saying, I don't care. What he does in his personal life doesn't impact me listening to his music. And your child is sitting there listening to this like, oh, you don't care? Right. Now, that's a troubling place to be in. So now that child is going to be in an even heightened state of becoming a victim because who do I go to? And not only are children watching you, there are those predators out there. Oh, yeah. They are hearing you as well. And they're like, okay.
Right. Right.
So, I just don't see how people can. The NFL thing, was one thing. Like, we gave up the NFL. Like, I gave my jerseys away, my caps, my hats. I believe you gave your jerseys and sweater away. Oh, yeah, the sweater. Sweaters. Like, we walked away. Like, you have to stand for something. And I mean, that was a little bit more gray area, right? NFL showed me as a organization that they did not value Black lives as much as they valued breast cancer awareness, the military. Okay, fine. That's your prerogative. I won't support you anymore. And then some people are like, well, I stream it on the internet so they don't get the views. Okay.
Yes, they do.
Even if
Nielsen ratings count.
Even if they don't, your energy is going into this, so you're still having conversations about the games. Right. You're like, come on, man. Like,
and then to kind of piggyback off of that, in the same kind of vein, you'll hear somebody throwing, oh, well, Lifetime should have that same energy for who is it? Harvey Weinstein and Trump and Charlie Sheen and all these other, white predators of, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Yeah. So now we can't call people of color to task when they're clearly in the wrong. Are we going to shield them for the sake of supporting a Black man? Like, no, I don't support foolishness. Nah. I don't care what color it is.
Nah, definitely not. And would you feel differently if we were talking about Elvis Presley or somebody?
Thank you.
If that's the case, that makes you look worse.
Right. And that man is dead and gone. Bringing him up, who cares?
Yeah. And like I said, it's bigger than R. Kelly. Right. R. Kelly gonna have to pay for his sins. Right. The most troubling part are the reactions to his fans.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy to me. And I pray that these kids have someone in their lives that they feel comfortable. Even, you don't even have to be a predator. Just the thought that I don't have protection here.
Oh, yeah. Now, if we say Black Lives Matter, it needs to matter across the board. Yeah. I don't want to hear, he got off. So I don't understand why we're still talking about this. It's been going on 30 years. Nobody said anything about it then. People have been saying things about it. And victims.
It's been uncles and grandpas and grandmas and aunties and mamas and daddies and big brothers, and they've been doing it for years too.
Oh yeah.
Should we just not talk about it?
Right.
Because it's been going on for so long.
Right.
Like I've not heard one single argument for still supporting this man that I can wrap my brain around and say that's a logical response.
Right. There's no excuse. Given all of the evidence, the fact that even all of that aside, the fact that people have been talking about it for 30 years should give you pause. Like, it's one thing for it to be a one-time issue, a rumor or something.
Yeah.
And then it goes away. People have been discussing it literally for nearly 30 years.
Yep.
So you don't think there's fire where there's smoke?
And if you got some other artists out there that you know or sexual predators, let me know. I'll cut them off.
Right.
Like, it ain't no sweat.
Right. You can't come to me talking about well, what about so-and-so? Bye to them too. They're in the garbage too.
And you can go too. Truth be told.
Right. For even trying to justify this.
So we gonna move on from that.
Yeah. We just wanted to bring that up because it is such a dynamic in Black families, in families period.
Yeah.
Families period. But we know that. Oh, and then the artist that Dream Hampton said declined to be interviewed, and a lot of people are saying, well, good, they're minding their business. Minding our business as a community is what's killing us.
Yeah. Not
speaking up when we know foul stuff is going on is literally killing us.
Let me find out, and one of y'all minding y'all business, and you know my child being molested. I pray to God right now for my future self and how I handle that situation.
Right.
Like, yeah, we
it's the same thing as seeing your homeboy or your homegirl putting hands on their significant other and not saying anything. Right.
Now, if you've intervened, if you've spoken to that person, both parties, you've done your best,
right,
and they still come back together, you've done. Now, I don't know how you can still kick it with that person,
right,
and have that same type of friendship,
right.
That speaks to you now,
right. And I'm a firm believer in that. Just staying in relationship with people in their foulness and being cordial and not saying anything enables them.
Yeah.
So the more people that say, hey, this particular area ain't cool, and if you are justifying it, supporting it, or apathetic towards it, you're cut off.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you people start, well, maybe I need to change my thinking. Clearly, I'm seeing something wrong if everybody's walking away from me on this one issue.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you.
Yep.
So, yeah, we just wanted to bring that up because the silence is literally killing Black families. It's destroying people. It's one of the reasons why we don't trust one another. And how are we to bring life into marriages and we're not doing what we're supposed to do to protect one another?
And to be crystal clear, it's happening in all communities.
Yes.
Like, I've had people,
it's a human condition.
I've had people in the Hispanic community reach out to me that I've known personally and told me about situations that have happened in their families. And we watch white families go through this. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have anything else on that.
Yeah. So moving along.
We are days away from our 7th anniversary.
Yes. You have something planned for me?
Of course.
Besides sex.
Well, we've talked about some things.
Okay. I know you're not into surprises, so I'm sure you'll come to me with something.
Yeah, you're not into surprises either, are you?
I thought maybe lucky number 7 would be.
No, well, I get something planned.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it first here, so if he doesn't do anything, I'll keep y'all informed.
So there have been many of changes in these 7 years.
Yeah.
Looking back, reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
I read or heard something somewhere that, and I guess they reference Music Soul Child's song.
Which one?
Don't Change. Is that the name of the song? Don't Change?
Yeah.
And they were saying that it's a fallacy to believe that love is not going to change, that love changes, everything changes. And so
I agree.
I kind of, you know me, I'm always going against the grain. So I'm like, I start to consider, does love change?
I think so. Love grows for sure.
Does it?
I think so. I think you have this level of a basic level of love. And then as you are exposed to each other's hearts more, I think that expands the love.
Now, are you talking about different types of love, or are you talking about levels of love?
Maybe both. Maybe both.
So you could be like, well, with this person, I'm at a agape level of 2, but that person over there, they at a level 10 of my agape love.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need y'all to explain it to me, because I'm kind of the mindset that I always have a saying, either you're pregnant or you ain't. So either you love somebody or you don't love them.
But there is such a thing as being a little bit pregnant, scientifically. The doctors will tell you. So
now that's a moment. It's a moment where you ain't pregnant, and then there's a moment where you are pregnant.
No.
That's just my belief.
Biologically, it's true.
We gonna keep it hood right now.
Well, you can't just say things. It's not a fact. So I'm just trying to bring facts to the situation.
Moving forward. I really believe that you either love someone or you don't. Now, we know that love is, people like an action verb, right? So you have to show it. It's just not it's not just like, oh, I love you. And
well, you can be in love with somebody or not. Meaning you can love them, but you're not in love with them.
Here we go. That's another one I don't believe in.
Really? Man, I'm a firm believer in that, because you can fall out of love with somebody. Like, maybe it's like,
come on with it then.
Like, you can love someone and not like them.
True.
And you don't want to be with them.
True.
But you can also be in love with someone.
What does that mean, in love with somebody?
In love with them means you want to be with them. You are interested in being connected to them physically, like your person physically, sexually, mentally, spiritually, all of that good stuff. In love with somebody.
I hear you. That's your truth.
That's what I say.
I got you. And I just don't feel like there's a one set, this is what it means to be in love with somebody. But, so can you be in love with somebody without loving them?
No, because the very word love is in there.
Okay. What do y'all think? Let us know. I'm I don't know.
What's the rationale behind it?
I just feel like if you either love someone or you don't.
Point blank, period.
Point blank, period.
There's no levels.
I don't think there are levels. There may be levels to how far you are willing to go to express that love. Mm-hmm. There are different ways that you can love someone. Like there are different types of love. Mm-hmm. And I think that, and speaking to the context of growth and getting into the agape love for a person, because you can have agape love for somebody and don't have other types. So I don't think that's like maybe necessarily the pinnacle. That may be the pinnacle of all types of love, but like for a particular person, I just don't. Yeah, I don't think that that's true. You either love someone or you don't love them. I mean, I'm saying that because I've hated someone before.
Mm-hmm. That you've been in love with?
No. What? I can't. No. I don't believe you can hate somebody that you love.
You believe in falling out of love with someone?
I believe that you can not love someone anymore that you once loved. I don't know if it's falling out of.
So once you don't love them anymore.
And like, so different types.
Can you wind up hating them?
Yeah. And so, okay. So I guess, if we've discussed the different types of love, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a sexual erotic love that you can have for a person, mm-hmm. right? And I think that can come and go. Mm-hmm. There's a brotherly love mm-hmm. that you can have for a person. And I think that can come and go. Mm-hmm. There's an agape love mm-hmm. that comes and goes. But I don't believe in the falling out. I mean, I guess you can use their terminology. Mm-hmm. It's not wrong to say you fell out of love with somebody, but what does that mean? That just means that it was a gradual process mm-hmm. and it happening.
Yeah. But the love is fading.
But there was one point in which you still loved them. Mm-hmm. And then there was that day or that moment where I no longer love this person. Mm-hmm. And so that's just how I see it.
I mean, the process is falling out.
I mean, that's cool. If that's how you deem to explain it.
I don't understand. I mean, you can't just go from loving someone one day to not loving them the next. It's a process. It's a gradual thing, like you said. You're falling out of love with them.
It's a process, but I don't think that you still love a person mm-hmm. and you're still willing to do things for that person. And then there's a moment mm-hmm. that comes when you're like, you know what? I don't love you in this way anymore. I'm not willing to do the things that I once was willing to do. It's not like I love you and I'm going to make you a full course meal. And then it just kind of breaks down to I'll heat you up some nuggets. I'm going to still feed you.
I can be in love with you and tell you that.
I argue that. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what you're willing to do for a person mm-hmm. and expressing how you love them. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you love them, I don't know. I don't think that there are levels. I think either you love somebody or you don't love them. In a particular way.
Okay, so you're more focused on the types as opposed to the levels.
Definitely. I think
gotcha.
once you get into a certain type of love for a person, that is what it is. Mm-hmm. Now the emotions that come with that, mm-hmm. I think they can grow. You can grow happier with the person. You can grow more angry with the person or disappointed, right? Those are emotions. But the love itself, I think either you love that person or you don't love that person.
Okay, puppy love versus...
I ain't never loved no puppy.
I'm talking about infatuation.
Okay, so say that.
No, because you could be young and think you're in love. And it's not really love.
What'd you just say? You can think. Come on with it. The old Sadie Hawkins dances in middle school. You know, I'm not saying that young people can't love, but their idea of what love is sometimes is very skewed.
Them and adults too.
Just say that. So, yeah. Now, giving that, the changes that you are going to experience in your marriage, and this is for all couples. Mm-hmm. Sometimes couples have a very rocky first 2 years. Sometimes it's smooth sailing. I guess my point is, if you continue to love a person, the changes that are sure to happen, whether it's a change in the marital unit where you both are experiencing something at the same time that is forcing you to change, mm-hmm. or whether it's an individual change with either spouse, mm-hmm. the love is going to be what keeps you. And I mean, I always like to say, if you have the love of God first, then it's going to be a lot easier to embrace the change that's going to come, whether it's positive change or negative change. Because you can have some positive change that'll rock a marriage like some negative change will. And what I mean by that is, let's just say you view something as being good, mm-hmm. got a job promotion, we have a child, we got this new house, we got a lump sum of money, we got an inheritance. Mm-hmm. Those things can be seen as positive change in a marriage. Mm-hmm. But those things could bring about a lot of heartache, mm-hmm. if God is not there to help you, to lead you in the direction that you need to go with those changes. Mm-hmm. Because, we like to throw out that word blessings.
I was about to say, are we using changes and blessings interchangeably?
We like to throw out that word blessings. And, just because, you may view money as mm-hmm. something that's good, that makes you feel happy.
Most people do.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's a blessing when you obtain it.
Right.
So I just want you guys to be able to understand that the love is what's going to keep you grounded. When you remember who this person is in your life, not who they are, because who they are going to change. Right?
The person can change, but the love, it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. How you express that love is going to change. You may have, when you first get married, one person may be more driven to have sex than the other person. Mm-hmm. There's a shift that happens in a lot of marriages as women get older, as men get older, depending on how you took care of yourself when you were younger, or let's just say, an accident happened, medical condition happened. Mm-hmm. Let's say a woman had surgery. She didn't know that she had something that was preventing her from enjoying sex. And now she has a surgery and now she enjoys sex more. Mm-hmm. That's a change. Mm-hmm. And I spoke to some different other types of changes. And then there's like small nuances. Sometimes there may be a person that likes to go out a lot. Now they are more of a homebody. That's a change that you have to learn how to adapt to, especially if you're used to this person being out and now they're at the house more and you feel like, hey, this is my time to have to myself. That's a change that a lot of people have to deal with.
All right. So I'm bringing in a scenario. So, and I'm just going to use a man because I'm a woman.
And I'm a man.
But I'm not referring to you. So a man and a woman get married. Initially, he marries this woman because of what she can do for him. And he loves her for that. She cooks.
So, hold on. Break that down one more time for me.
I thought that was basic, but okay. A man and a woman come together.
Okay.
The man initially marries her.
Okay.
Because of what she can do for him. Meaning she meets his expectations, and he feels based on that he loves her.
Okay, he feels he loves her.
I mean, nobody can tell somebody whether that's love or not, right?
I mean, he knows if he loves her or not.
He thinks that he loves her.
He knows he loves her.
He knows he loves her because she's doing this. Can I get my scenario out before you start putting your spin on it?
I'm representing the man, so I'm just...
Can I get it out first?
Got you.
We talked about this earlier.
Zipping it up, throwing away the key.
So, he loves her because she meets his list of things, and no other woman has done that, so he loves her for it. She always makes sure that things are handled with the household. He never has to worry about that. She's handling business, doing her thing. As the marriage goes on, that love evolves, and I'm using that terminology. That love evolves to, oh, I never saw this side of her. I never knew that she was so whatever, compassionate for kids or for the elderly. And that opens up a new facet of love that he has for her because he never knew that side. And he picks up on all these little things that makes her her. And he starts falling in love with those qualities as opposed to the very things that she can do for him. Is that not love changing? Is that not love evolving?
I wouldn't say so. I think he may respect the fact that she has a heart for kids and that type of thing. Is it love evolving into a different type of love? Maybe admiration. I think there are some other.
It's changing. The love is changing.
I wouldn't say the love is changing. Now,
ooh, he is doing mental gymnastics to be right.
No. You're saying this man loved this woman because she did certain chores. So did he really love her? Or did he just like the fact that she helped him out in a certain way? Did he love her? Because what you said was he liked the things that she did for him. Or he loved her for the things that she did for him. So is that loving the person?
It could be.
No wonder people falling in and out of love. You don't wash them dishes, I don't love you no more.
Is love.
Is it?
Who?
So she loves him.
Who are me to judge?
So she loves him because so I'm doing these things so that you love me.
It could be she's doing those things because she loves him.
Okay, there's a difference though.
I know.
You said he loves her because she does these things, not he loves her and she does these things for him. Mm-hmm. But you're predicating his love based off of what she is doing for him.
Acts of service.
Access. If we're going to talk love languages, you can love somebody without knowing a person's love language.
Our love languages change. So how can you say that love doesn't change?
The love language changes.
Oh my gosh.
The love language changes. How I receive love may change. The way that you show me love can change.
That's love changing. You can slice it and dice it how you want to. It's the love evolving.
So we have different opinions on this subject.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys can share your opinions on this subject.
Hopefully we made y'all chuckle in the process. Because I find us hilarious.
Hey, we do what we can. Speaking of making people laugh, Chris Rock is another one. He on the NFL and R. Kelly list.
Oh.
And this is old information too.
Random, but yeah.
Hey.
Out of the blue.
That was a transition, girl.
Was it?
Speaking of making people laugh.
I respect the transition, I guess.
Come on, give me that. If you don't know, I guess it was about 6, 7 years ago, Chris Rock was sitting talking to some of his comedian friends. Mm-hmm. Louis C.K., which is one of the people who...
And what does this have to do with marriage? Nothing. We just chit-chatting. I apologize. Go ahead.
Louis C.K., who was one of the people who was part of the Me Too movement. He wasn't a part of it. He was accused of like some heinous acts towards women.
Just recently, just this week.
And he used the word nigger in Chris Rock presence. He actually say, so what you're saying is I'm a nigger. And Chris Rock chuckles and says, yeah, you're a nigger. You're niggerish or something, he said. So they're going, it's 4 people in the room. He's the only black person. Jerry Seinfeld is one of the people that's in the room. He's having no parts of it. He like, I don't think he can say that. Chris Rock then goes to try to justify it. And then there's the other cat in the corner. He's, oh no, you don't know their relationship. They perform on stage together. Jerry Seinfeld like, I ain't touching that. So he's like, well, anyways, it was he didn't check the guy on using that word in his presence. Now, people grown and they ain't telling people what they can and can't do when you ain't around me. And now I'm talking about people that you got a relationship with.
Yeah.
If you call yourself any type of associate, if you ain't even associate, if you just in my presence and you are respecting me as a person and you say something to me that offends me, or I feel like, hey, I don't want you saying that, I'm going to let you know that. And I'm going to let you know it in a way that has respect beginning. Mm-hmm. I just felt like he should have, and what he represents in his comedy, mm-hmm. he should have just, kind of let that man know that ain't cool.
But why?
Why what?
Why should he let him know? Clearly, what's his name? Louis C.K. What's his name? Louis C.K. Mm-hmm. Clearly, he felt comfortable enough in his relationship with Chris Rock.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why he's nixed with me.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying this is what I felt he should have done. Mm-hmm. Because he was my favorite comedian. Like, come on, man. We talk about my favorite R&B artist. Probably my favorite sport to watch. Mm-hmm. My favorite comedian. They all gone.
Hey, people are problematic. The days of social media is crucifying these folks in the street.
Hey.
And the internet.
And I love it. Let me know
right.
who you are.
Yes. Back to the R. Kelly thing. Blessing and a curse, because it's exposing everybody who you probably should stay away from.
And who you should keep your kids away from.
Yes.
Straight up like that.
Straight like that. No chaser.
Hey, I've had fun this episode.
Yeah.
Feel good to be back in front of the mic.
Yeah. Happy New Year again to everybody. We hope that you had a very safe, healthy, and happy holiday. We pray that your families enjoyed one another. There was little to no drama.
Yeah.
And to those who welcomed babies into the world, congratulations.
Definitely.
Those who are looking forward to new opportunities or embarking on new opportunities in the new year, congratulations. We're just excited for the newness that has come, not necessarily for the new year, but in the spirit of newness. Yeah. We're excited about what God is doing in this season.
And let's make it a purpose to get ourselves checked out health wise.
Oh yeah.
Like, I just know there's a lot of people out there, including myself. Like I definitely am due for a regular checkup. I've had physicals and that type of thing done. Mm-hmm. But we got to take care of ourselves.
Oh yeah. You're getting old.
Excuse me.
Me too.
Okay. So we got to take care of ourselves, take care of your dental hygiene, take care of yourself physically, make a conscious effort to do something. You ain't got to go all the way overnight, but just, hey, push away from, hey, we're not going to eat meat on Mondays.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to put some extra vegetables on my plate.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to have that drink today. Whatever it is, let's do better.
And not just cutting out something, because the quickest way to failure is not replacing it with something healthier. So once you cut something out, replace it with something a little bit more healthier. So treat yourself.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back with things that you would enjoy doing. Healthy things.
Pull away from the TV. And in that 30 minutes that you ain't watching that show that you always watch, do some meditation. Read.
Oh, yeah. Your family will thank you for it. Your spouse will thank you. Your kids will thank you.
Definitely. So we're going to leave it right there.
I think so.
Definitely hit us up. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Share this episode with your friends, with your family. Yes.
And we look forward to getting back into the swing of things. Again, thank you for tuning in. And want to pray us out?
Let's get it. Thank you, Father, for blessing us with the opportunity, Lord, to see this new year, to be able to speak to one another in front of these microphones, Lord, knowing that it is you who will do the growing. We are just to plant seeds, and prayerfully we planted seeds that are fruitful, that will help benefit others, and it will help benefit your kingdom. We pray these other blessings in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. See you next episode, guys.